When most people think about gold grills in hip-hop culture, they think about Paul Wall or maybe Nelly's 2005 single Grillz. In fact, we did a video a while back on the history of hip-hop jewelry and where we talked about gold grills. In the video, we made a mistake by stating that gold grills started in the South, but one of our astute viewers brought it to our attention in the comment section that grills had in fact predated to New York in the 70s and 80s. And I was like, what? So I decided to look it up and do a little bit of research on my own. And in fact, they were both right and wrong. Gold grills did make a name in urban culture first in New York, kind of. But they really go back much further than that. I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com, and before we get started, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. As always, liking and subscribing the video helps us grow as a channel and continue to get the reach further out. And the more views we get, the more videos we do. We would like to get to the point to where we're pumping out these kind of videos at least twice a week. So hit that like and subscribe button, and with that being said, let's jump right in. In ancient Italy between 800 and 200 BC, wealthy Etruscan women wore teeth woven together with gold wire the thickness of a rubber band. And for you non-history buffs out there, the Etruscans were the group of peoples who inhabited Italy before the quote-unquote Romans would later take it over and become the Romans that we know of in history today. But the wire held teeth together that had been previously removed and replaced back into the mouth, so they probably made eating pretty difficult. The practice wasn't exactly common, but archaeologists found documentation of around 20 sets of teeth woven together in this way. The Etruscan civilization vanished as the Romans took over Italy, and the fashion trend kind of died out with them. In Latin America, the Mayans actually cut small holes into their teeth and filled them with precious stones, typically jade. Again, this was a trend that only royalty and the wealthy could afford. And although the Mayan civilization has disappeared, many people in southeastern Mexico, Belize, Honduras, and Guatemala still wear gold-toothed jewelry to this day. During American antebellum slavery, slaves were obviously denied quality dental and vision healthcare plans. However, on rare occasion, slave owners permitted crude dental surgery to be conducted on their chattel. This, of course, was reserved for only the most valuable male slaves, those that an owner couldn't bear to lose, I guess, to death caused by infection related to tooth decay. The slaves that received the dental work often had copper, tin, or sometimes bronze fillings for cavities or replacements. The metal in their mouths became a status symbol denoting their value to the master and their superiority to other slaves, i.e. the more metal you had, the more importance. Showing your shiny grill became a way of notifying the others that you were important and ultimately not to be messed with. But hey, this isn't a world history channel. You came here to hear about the history of gold teeth in rap, right? Well, in the 80s and 90s, New York became the epicenter of hip-hop's golden age, bringing with it a whole new style that was soon introduced to the world. By that point, gold and silver teeth were most commonly seen in the mouths of West Indian people in Uptown and Brooklyn, who had immigrated from places where the use of precious metals in dental work was common. In typical hip-hop fashion, however, the city's Black and Latino community took something that was once done out of necessity and made it trendy. But this is where it gets a little bit murky. Simultaneously, in the early 80s, Atlanta rappers Kilo Ali and Raheem the Dream also have documentation of rocking gold teeth. But when Slick Rick released his debut album in 1988, his glittery grin changed hip-hop forever. Though he had risen to fame 4 years earlier, performing as MC Ricky D as part of Dougie Fresh's Get Fresh crew. But the release of The Great Adventures of Slick Rick is what really established the London-born rapper as a style icon. On the sleeve of his album's lead single, Teenage Love, Rick was photoed sporting a copious amount of gold, as was his style. But included in the King Tut-like collection was 3 gold teeth, one of which encrusted with diamonds. Kilo and Raheem may or may not have been the first rappers to quote-unquote wear gold grills, but Slick Rick was definitely the first to truly make it popular in rap through his sheer reach at the time. Around the same time, grills began appearing in the mouths of other New York rappers like Just Ice, Big Daddy Kane, and Cool G Rap. This was mostly thanks to Eddie Plain, a Suriname immigrant who started making grills in his Brooklyn apartment after damaging a tooth. As detailed in Lyle Lindgren's recent book, Mouthful of Golds, Plain was offered a gold tooth cap by a dentist, but he didn't want to commit to a metallic mouth for life. He came up with the idea of temporary gold crowns and soon began selling them out of a pawn shop in Queens. Plain later opened his own shop, named Famous Eddie's, and began selling grills that could be easily attached and removed. Among his many customers was Public Enemy's Flavor Flav, who wore Plain's gold grill so much that it became part of his shtick. Remember the Flavor of Love episode where the winner Hoops and Flav both got fitted for custom gold grills at the end? Yeah. Another famous grill merchant at the time was British drum and bass pioneer Clifford Price, aka Goldie, who was literally named after the gold teeth he both wore and sold in a shop in Miami before moving back to Britain. Over the subsequent decades, grills became to take on a whole new form. Wu-Tang Clan members the RZA and Method Man were pictured with gold vampire fangs. Plain, meanwhile, moved to Atlanta, opening up a new shop called Eddie's Famous Gold Teeth, and made increasingly flashy grills for Outkast, Goody Mob, Lil Jon, Ludacris, and countless others. Eddie Plain is a legend in his own right and deserves a video all to itself. And if we get enough views and likes on this one, then we'll do a more in-depth video on Mr. Plain in the future. Then in 1996, a Vietnamese immigrant called Johnny Dang, later known as TV Johnny, moved to Texas shortly before taking the grill industry to a whole new level. While working in his family's jewelry repair business, Dang met Paul Wall, a Houston rapper gaining notoriety in the local hip-hop scene after releasing a few mixtapes with his then partner in crime, Chamillionaire. In 2002, Paul Wall persuaded Dang to go into business with him, combining Dang's jewelry skills with Paul's rap connections, eventually selling grills to some of the biggest names around. In fact, Lil Jon bought a diamond-encrusted number again in the vampire fang-looking canines for $60,000. Paul Wall soon became the smiling face of hip-hop's new favorite accessory. In 2005, the grill was immortalized when Nelly released the Grammy-nominated single Grillz, featuring Paul Wall and starring Johnny Dang. During the 2000s, stars from Gucci Mane to Beyonce to Kanye got fitted for custom grills bought from Dang and Paul Wall. But not everyone was on board. Following the surge in popularity driven by Nelly's grills, an inevitable backlash drove 4 districts in Texas to ban kids from wearing gold grills in school. Quote, "They're gaudy," said one teacher, "so let's leave them in the videos and in shopping malls," end quote. Despite all the hate from the school officials, the grill trend raged on for years. When Dolly Cohen, a Parisian dental technician who had turned her hand to making jewelry, met A$AP Rocky back in 2012, he popularized the designer's work by sporting the A$AP and Crucifix grill on Instagram. Rocky would then introduce Cohen to Rihanna, who bought an insane AK-47 grill from her. Cohen would go on to design increasingly artsy grills for runways and fashion shows. It was around this time that the mainstream really caught on to the trend. In 2012, when Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte flexed a red, white, and blue grill after his Olympic win, it signaled the beginning of the end for grill's peak. Some thought when Brooke Hogan had a grill fitted for her music video that the trend was completely dead. Oh yeah, I know it's easy to forget, and plenty of Gen Z folks probably may not remember this, but yes, Hulk Hogan's daughter actually tried her hand at music at one point. But no, grills will continue on. Despite all the overhype, all the commercialization, here we are 30 plus years after the rise of grills in hip hop, and they're still an integral part of the genre style. Although grills got their start with black people in America during a rather dark time in history, it's now a status symbol adopted by people all over the globe again. And although the debate was never really settled on who started or had the biggest influence on grills, the North or the South, you guys can continue to have that debate in the comment section. So if you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. And also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe and notification button to be updated whenever we drop videos just like this one. Also, feel free to drop a comment suggesting what videos you might want us to make next. We love taking suggestions and requests from the audience. But with that being said, I'm Nick the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out until next time. Peace.